I'm not writing this story to get famous, nor do I want your pity or sympathy. I am writing to warn you. A warning to everyone who thinks curiosity is just a game and that the world of jinn and magic is just stories we watch in movies to pass time. My name is Adel, and what happened to me and my friend Hassan on that doomed night changed our lives forever, if it didn't destroy them completely. They say, he who digs a pit for his brother falls into it, but we didn't dig a pit for anyone. We just dug into something that wasn't our business and woke up an evil that should have stayed buried until Judgment Day. Have you ever held something and felt the chill of death run through your entire body? I have, and this is my story.
It was Thursday night, 2 a.m. The atmosphere was strange. The air was heavy and suffocating, even though it was the dead of winter. My friend Hassan and I were sitting in the car at the start of the agricultural road, just chatting to kill boredom. Hassan has always been obsessed with horror stories and always likes to act brave. Suddenly, he looked at me with a weird glint in his eyes and said, "Adel, did you hear about the old cemetery at the edge of town? They say the gravedigger found an open grave there a week ago and saw something that made him quit his job and run." I laughed nervously and told him, "Man, forget these superstitions, let's just go." But Hassan insisted. It was like the devil was whispering to him, or maybe something else was calling him from there. Under his pressure and nagging, I agreed, and that was the worst decision of my entire life. We parked the car far from the broken cemetery wall so no one would notice us. It was pitch black, no light except the pale moonlight fading in and out between black clouds. The moment we stepped inside the cemetery, I felt something crushing my chest. The silence there wasn't natural. It wasn't calm. No, it was an eerie silence, as if the graves themselves were holding their breath, waiting to see what we would do. Hassan pulled out a small flashlight and we walked among the tombstones. The sound of our steps on gravel was incredibly loud in that stillness. I whispered, shivering, "Hassan, let's go back. I have a bad feeling about this." He answered without looking at me, "Wait, you coward. We'll just find the open grave, take one look, and leave immediately." And after 10 minutes of searching, we found it. It was an ancient grave. No name, no headstone. The opening on its side was clear, as if a predator dug it out, not a human. A horrible smell was coming from that hole. Not the smell of bodies like we know. No, this was the smell of sulfur, rot, and something burnt. Hassan got close to the hole and shined his light inside. Suddenly, he gasped and jumped back in shock. I asked in terror, "What is it? What did you see?" With a trembling hand, he pointed at the dirt piled next to the grave. "Look there, in that small pit." I approached cautiously and lit it with my phone flash. There was something wrapped in dirty black cloth and tied with many, many knots. It looked exactly like the black magic bundles we hear about. Fatal curiosity made me reach out and pick it up. It was unreasonably heavy, and its texture was slimy, as if it had been dipped in oil. Hassan told me in a hoarse voice, "Open it, Adel." With shaking hands, I started untying the knots one by one. With every knot I undid, I felt the air get colder, and the wind began to howl between the graves like a muffled scream. And when I finally opened the cloth, my heart sank. It wasn't a normal plastic doll. It was handmade from cloth and burlap and stuffed with something solid. But what made me scream and drop it was its hair. It was real human hair, long, black, soft, and terrifying. It was sewn into the doll's head in a crude, disgusting way. And on the doll's face, there were no drawn eyes. No, there were stitches with thick red thread sealing the eyes and mouth shut. Hassan screamed, "Oh God, what is that?" In that moment, I noticed something else. A small folded yellow paper stuffed inside the doll's clothes. I pulled it out and read it. It was symbols, incomprehensible drawings, writings in red, and a name written backwards. And at the end, one sentence clear as day: death, ruin, and destruction until all is lost. Suddenly, Hassan's flashlight died. Everything went black, and in that darkness, we heard a sound. The sound of a little girl laughing, coming from right inside the open grave next to us. We didn't wait to see who it was. We ran. We ran like madmen. We tripped over stones. My hand got cut. Hassan fell twice, but we didn't stop until we reached the car. I started the engine, and we flew. Hassan was shivering, reciting Quran loudly and messing up the words. We thought we escaped and left the horror behind us in the cemetery, but we were wrong, because I, foolishly, was still holding the yellow paper in my pocket without realizing. I got home, bolted the door, and ran to my room. I was exhausted and terrified. I threw off my clothes and jumped into bed, trying to convince myself it was all just hallucinations from fear. I slept, or thought I slept. In my dream, I saw the doll. It was sitting on the edge of my bed. The red threads stitching her eyes and mouth began to snap slowly. Snap after snap after snap. When the mouth threads finally broke, she opened her mouth, revealing yellow human teeth, and screamed in my face, a scream that woke me up in panic. I woke up, soaked in sweat. I looked at the clock. It was 3:30 a.m. I sat on the bed, catching my breath, and when I looked in the mirror opposite my bed, my blood froze. There were thin, long scratch marks on my neck, 3 inflamed red scratches, like the nails of a small child. And not just that, I started hearing light footsteps running in the hall outside my room. I yelled with a trembling voice, "Who's there?" No answer. I grabbed my phone to call Hassan. Maybe his voice would calm me. It rang once, twice, then the line opened. "Hello? Hassan?" The reply came, but it wasn't Hassan's voice. It was a rough, raspy voice, like it was coming from a throat full of dust. "You took something that isn't yours, and now we will take what is ours." Then I heard Hassan scream, a scream of indescribable pain and terror, and the line went dead. I got dressed and ran to Hassan's house, just 2 streets away. His apartment door was unlocked and slightly ajar. I went in, calling his name. In the corner of his room, curled up, shaking, staring wide-eyed at the ceiling, he was babbling nonsense. The hair is choking me. The hair is going into my mouth." I looked at the ceiling, saw nothing, but felt an evil presence in the upper corner. The darkness there was heavier and blacker than the rest of the room. Suddenly, the furniture started slamming. Chairs, books, window glass. Like a storm hit the room. I dragged Hassan out by force, pulling him from the apartment while he screamed and fought me. The next day, we went to a well-known sheikh in our area. As soon as he saw us, his face changed and he said, "The smell of death is coming from you." I told him what happened and took the yellow paper out of my pocket. The sheikh yelled at us, "You fools! You opened a buried spell of revenge and destruction. This paper is the contract, and the doll is the vessel the entity possesses." He said the only solution was to return the paper to where the doll was, burn them in place, and read the ruqyah. We went back to the cemetery at noon with the sheikh. We found the doll in its place, but it looked different. It was lying on its face, looking strange, as if it had been moving and crawling. The sheikh burned it while reciting Quran loudly. As soon as the fire caught, we all heard a scream coming from the doll. Yes, a real heart-wrenching scream, and black smoke formed a terrifying face in the air before vanishing. Months have passed since that day. Hassan moved out of the area entirely. He became introverted and stopped talking to anyone. He doesn't even answer my calls. As for me, Even though we got rid of the doll, I still feel something stayed with me. Every night, when I look in the mirror, I glimpse the shadow of a small child standing behind me with long black hair covering its face. And sometimes, when I'm alone in the room, I hear a whisper right by my ear saying, "The story isn't over yet." My advice to you: graves have sanctity, and death has secrets. Don't let curiosity kill you. If you see something strange, run and never look back. And that's it. That was the story of the cursed doll. Do you think if you were in Adil's place and found this doll, would curiosity kill you and make you open it? Or would you run away? Write your opinion in the comments. And if you want to hear more horror stories, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.